Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening at 7 p.m. on the East Coast on a Saturday. What am I doing? Sitting here yapping with you on a Saturday night at 7 p.m. I guess I should be going out doing something crazy or something. Wait a minute, it's like 7 p.m. So no, I wouldn't be going out doing something crazy at 7 p.m. anyway, but I might as well just be here with you. And yes, we are taking the time and energy to have an AMA, which you guys ask me for all the time. And I am happy to do that. No worries whatsoever. Happy to give you that. I think it's wonderful. So now we get to do an AMA. But as always, I want to start with something, some idea, some concept, something. And that was something that came to me just this week, yesterday, actually. And that was the idea that my governor, New York Governor Kathy Hochul, the Queen of New York, Her Majesty, first of her name, she has decided that she now wants to assist and help us out, all the people who are renting and trying to buy homes and such, by trying to push these nasty, evil private equity people out from buying private homes. They might say, Larry, that sounds like a wonderful idea. I am so happy that she is now on that. And in theory, she's right. If you remember, there was some guy who was talking about stopping this about 4 years ago. He was trying to run for governor. That guy's name was, me, Larry Sharpe. I'm the one who has been talking about this for literally years. I'm the one who's been saying one of the biggest reasons why the housing market's so trashed, not the only, but one of the biggest reasons is because large, big finance has been purchasing up huge chunks of land, huge amounts of housing, buying them all up so that now there's less. And of course, now they can raise prices and they put everybody into rental markets. Absolutely. The problem is people immediately got mad at private equity and said things like they're evil or they're mean. And I said, they're not. And of course, now they want to yell at me. Larry, don't you think that private equity is evil and mean? I don't. What I think private equity is like all other businesses, apathetic. They're not necessarily angry or trying to hurt people or trying to be evil. They do what the incentives tell them to do. Incentives said this is a better investment than other things, particularly after the crash of 2008, 2009. A lot of the markets changed, and what became a easier, cheaper way to raise cash and to get some cash back? Well, buy real estate. That was working. So great, they did. But did anyone try to stop them then? No, nobody did. But now Kathy Hochul, defender of the people, I think, or she acts like it at least, has decided that she is now going to try to stop them in some way, shape, or form. And you might say, about time. Well done, Governor. You did it. But wait a minute. You're in New York State. Two biggest lobbyists in New York State, lobbyist groups, two of them. Real estate, number one. Finance, number two. So you're telling me my governor is going to fight against, because she's that tough and she cares that much, she's going to fight against the two biggest groups in New York State? Yeah, no. See, Andrew already knows. Or you already knew. What's the catch? Yeah, you knew there was a catch. Of course there is. Here's what people most don't know. And they're getting behind her, right? They're like, hey, maybe she's going to help out. See that? She's going to help us out. No. Here's the issue. The reality of it is, private equity is stopping the investments in real estate. Yes, because the market's starting to crash. That's the reality. So now it's safe for her to do that. Now she can pretend like she cares about us all, right? Because she's going to stop those evil private equity guys when they no longer care. And the place to look at right now is actually Florida. If you look at Florida right now, a lot of the housing market's already beginning to crash. You're seeing rents come down, prices coming down actually in Florida right now. And as that begins to come down, private equity is trying to figure out how the hell do I get out of this? You're finding banks starting to grab land back again, right? Grabbing houses again. They don't want houses. They want to get rid of them, right? So now as private equity starts going, wait a minute, this housing thing isn't working anymore. What are we going to do? So they're already moving. Private equity now is moving towards, believe it or not, something you'll find funny. Private equity is moving towards private credit. Yes, private credit, like Chime and places like that. SoFi, they're going down that road. Well, because I can get cash in that, right? So instead of me getting rent, I'll just get percentages off of people putting money into accounts. I'll do that instead. Again, not because they care about credit or care about you, because they're apathetic. They don't care. If that's where the money is, that's where they'll go. They're staying in tech, but not what you would think. They're not really in big tech. I mean, of course they are, but I'm talking as a whole. They're also shifting into things like, believe it or not, food and pets. Yes, because no matter what, when things go bad and they know things about to go bad, they know you got to eat and you love your pets. So food and pets is where they're going. And of course, health. These are three places where private equity is shifting to. Started last year. And it's shifting now. You're going to see this year and the year after, more and more going that way. And then AI, but only for those industries. Things like customer service, not like the chat GPTs of the world. That's not a thing. They're not focusing on that. They're not. They're focusing, and this is private equity I'm talking about. They're focusing on AI that has to do with customer service in things like food, pets, healthcare, and private credit. That's where they're going now. So it's safe for her to do it. She's going to actually do what she does best. What my governor does so well, is virtue signal to pretend like she's helping. Always she's good at that. And she'll do it again. Right now, you're going to see it right now. You will see her do this, safely do it. We're going to beat up these private equity people who no longer care about this thing. As they shift away, I'll pass a law that says they can't do it or something like that. And everyone will say, wow, how awesome she is. She'll take credit for it and she'll help no one because New Yorkers are already packing up and leaving. We already have a thing in New York called zombie houses. I talked about this 5 years ago, and I warned about this 6 years ago. I said, eventually, this will get so bad that New Yorkers will simply pack up and leave. They won't care if they have a lease. They won't care if they have a mortgage. They will just leave because they can't afford to stay and they can't afford to leave. So they pick leave. I'm leaving. See you in court. Good luck. That's what they're doing. And banks are like, it's not worth chasing you. We'll just take the house and sell it or whatever if we can. And they're having trouble even selling it now. So even that's a problem, particularly in New York State. So you're saying, but Larry, hold on. How can that be? Well, it's very easy. People are leaving, so they don't want to come back and buy these houses. It's happening everywhere. That is the catch. That is the catch that's happening right now. Guys, I'm going to be taking your questions right now in comments. And of course, I ask you all the time, if you can, click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. If you don't click that button, people aren't going to know how awesome this is, and they're not going to watch. And Mr. Rhythm, the guy whose first name is Al, and his middle name is Gore, and his last name is Rhythm, that guy loves it when you click the button known as like. You do that, and he goes, oh, people must like this. I'm going to share it with other people. So please do that. Also, if you can share or repost this someplace else, if you want to share it on Instagram, share it on Facebook, share it into a Facebook group, share it on X, wherever, sharing and reposting is helping. Sharing is caring, and I know you care about me because I care about you. Speaking of that, I will be on Tuesday, the 14th, next Tuesday, 10 a.m. I will be in Albany. I'll be speaking at the MAHA Action event. Yes, MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. I will be there in Albany, 10 a.m. Head over to Teachers for Choice. That is F-O-R, not the number 4. teachersforchoice.org to check that out. A lot of people are going to be there, not just me. I mean, I'm clearly the best, the most important guy there. Clearly, duh. Of course I am. But there will be others there who will be almost as cool as me. Very close to as cool as me, but not exactly as cool as me, but close to as cool as me. Many of them will be there. I do want to grab some comments and questions on this if I could. Again, this is an AMA, so I will take stuff, out, right, of I will take stuff out of context because it doesn't really matter. It's an AMA. So yes. Kim starts it off with, bankers have too much control now. This is true. And this is a problem I brought up forever. I'm not anti-finance at all. To have a good economy, you've got to have a strong financial sector. Of course, that's a very important piece of any good economy. The problem with America now is ours is far too large. Our manufacturing sector is under 50%, which is a huge problem. I think it's almost like 10 or 12%. It's not very high, a big part of our economy. That's a big problem. And second, finance, if you count insurance and real estate, if you count that when it comes to finance, I mean, it's like 20% of our economy. Far too high. It should be more like 5 or 10%. I mean, it should be much lower. When you have so much of an economy working just on people moving money around and not creating any actual value, don't get me wrong. Again, we need finance, but they're not building something, right? They're just financing stuff, which is fine, but I need people building something, right? Even if it's intellectual property, something. And we have it's too high. So you are correct. Not just that, the finances get behind everything. Some of you may not recognize this. There are a lot of companies who make most of their money on financing, even though they're not a finance company. All right, why? Finance has become so normal and lucrative now. When a company gets a lot of cash, whether they get it from borrowing money, whether they get it from making their product or service, well, now they have a bunch of cash. So Kim, here I am, me and you have a company, Kim and Larry Inc. We have a massive company and we make tons of money. And we now have $100 million in profit. Great, good for us. Most people would say, great. So now Kim and Larry, take a chunk of that in a perfect world, give some of that to your workers, take some of that for yourself, invest a bunch into the company to make a better product or a better service. Okay, that sounds like it makes sense. Not today. No, we have $100 million. Can we start a bank? I'm not joking. Let's start a bank. Okay, well, how can you start a bank? You can't start a bank. Well, yes, you can. Because what Kim and I decide we're going to sell is we sell farming equipment. So we sell. So you can take the $100 million and then maybe get some better workers, get some better leaders, give us a little cut, give us a little taste, get our beaks wet, and maybe make better farming equipment. Or we can just start our own finance company, Kim and Larry Finance Company, K&L Finance. And what we'll do is we will finance all of the equipment that we make. You might go, well, Larry, why would I do that? Because now I can keep the pricing exactly the same, start my finance company with my $100 million, and then now I am now the loaner. I'm the loaning agent for all of the farming equipment. Well, now I make a cut. So not only do I get the price that I want, I keep the pricing the same, but now I get a cut every month. So I just raised my profit margin, doing no more extra work except starting a finance company. That's it. That's all I have to do. Yeah. In fact, this is maybe the 2000s, maybe GE, the company that, of course, like makes appliances and stuff. They made more money on mortgages than they made selling like whatever, washers and dryers, whatever they sell. Yeah. That's bankers having too much power and control in our actual economy, because now we've incentivized them to become banks. We've just said, why would you make a better product when you could just finance that product and make more money? And you've changed anything. So you are correct. And again, this is incentives. We can change that if we want to. So yes, Lunatic Libertarian is in the house. I appreciate you being here, my friend. Phil says, happy Saturday. That's great. Yes, absolutely great. All righty. Josh says, did you get any snow? No, like the whole country got snow except for me. I didn't get any. So I did not get any snow, but it looks like Phil got an inch of snow. All right. There we go. I like that. All right. Vivek is asking a question here. What do you think about Tulsi Gabbard's flip-flop on FISA 702? I haven't heard that. I don't know what that is. Sorry, guys. I can't remember everything. I don't get a chance to see everything, so I didn't see that. Is there any parts of FISA that are good? Was FISA good before? No, okay. Let me give you general rule on FISA and general rule. The concept of FISA is not a bad concept, right? The idea that sometimes there are things that are so secret and worrisome and dangerous that you have to have a special court and a special super secret judge to give you the ability to go do super secret things. I get the concept. I'm not against the idea, but that's not what happened at all. And never. How many times, Vivek, have I sat here and been mad at judges, said how they failed us, said how bad they are, said all the terrible things they've done, and how they have failed us at so many times, so many. This is another example of that. I don't trust our judges. I don't trust our judges in general. In general, they have completely failed us. Most judges in America now, well, I don't know about America. I know New York State. I'm going to assume that goes across the country, but it may not, but I'm pretty sure it does. Most judges only care about their own party infrastructure, and that's it. They're beholden to no one. So here comes someone who says, hey, here's a FISA thing, whatever. Can I go, I think Vivek might be a bad guy. Can I go, I don't know, raid his house at midnight with guns? And the judge will go, yes, that's what happened. He won't go, why? Is he a bad guy? No, they just, yes, all the time. That's happening all the time. They say yes to everything. If we actually had judges who cared about the Constitution and would go, wait a minute, no, wait, why, what, how? Conceptually, I would get it, but it's just not a thing. So, yeah, but then again, look, the Patriot Act is a way for the government to make tons of money, to keep jobs going on, and to stay in power. Why would they ever stop it? Right? Why would they ever stop it? I think they should have stopped it. They should never happen, but why would they ever stop it? It's not in their best interest to stop it. It just isn't. If you started punishing judges, right, holding them accountable, you'd have a better FISA court, right? And then the one I bring up all the time, and I know I'm a broken record, but I don't care. I'll keep bringing it up. I will keep bringing it up. Dexter Taylor. Dexter Taylor here in Brooklyn, New York City, gets arrested for purchasing firearms completely legally in every way, shape, and form, purchasing parts with a credit card online. So it's open, not hidden whatsoever. Firearm parts, trying to figure out if he wants to be a gunsmith or not. Not making this up. Look at Dexter Taylor out of Brooklyn. Literally happened. They kicked his door in, just what I just talked about, with a SWAT team. Okay. Guy had no ammo. Guy didn't sell any guns. Guy didn't give the gun to anybody. Nothing. He was just trying to make them. That was it. Because he wanted to be a gunsmith. Literally, he's an engineer. That's what he is. That's what he does for a living. He's an engineer. That's what he does. Kicked the door in, arrested him, put him away. And when he was being sentenced, the judge said in the courtroom, and this is, you can check it if you think I'm making this up, the Second Amendment doesn't exist in my courtroom. The judge said in her courtroom that the Bill of Rights does not exist in her courtroom. That's New York State judges. And her punishment, I mean, clearly she was immediately, all right, her punishment was, nothing. Not a thing. Still a judge, still fine, no punishment whatsoever. That's her punishment's nothing. Nothing. In New York State, the Bill of Rights is the Bill of Suggestions, not the Bill of Rights. How do I know that? Well, even in the Trump case, what did the judge say? The words that Trump was using were dangerous. Yes. So the prosecutor can yell and scream and call anybody, any person they've accused, every name in the book, totally fine. Cops can come out and do it. Judge can, anyone can say whatever they want. The press can say terrible things about anybody who's accused, not convicted, accused. But if the accused says anything, that the system's bad, the judge is bad, anybody's bad, that's against the First Amendment. That's a gag order. You're going to jail. Because the First Amendment in New York State is the first suggestion. That's how that works. The Second Amendment, the second suggestion. The Third Amendment is probably real. They don't want to put the Brits in it. But anyway, those are all suggestions. So, yes, I'm not surprised at the flip-flop at all. I kind of went long on that. I know. I apologize. I did go long. So we are actually streaming on Instagram tonight also. John Gold speaking says the congestion tax is completely indicative of her political philosophy. She's only interested in what's good for the government. She's discompassionate, well, I like that word, to the common person because she's out of touch. Yes, but John Gold, let me shift that a bit. Let me add or maybe modify that a bit. It isn't that she is out of touch. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. It's not important to her. I did a whole show on this idea of the congestion pricing on my radio show out of YSL. Congestion pricing, if it does what it's supposed to, and it never does, it'll bring in $500 million a year. It won't. But sake of argument, it does what it's supposed to do. It brings in $500 million a year. We lose $800 million a year due to fare evasion in New York State. 800. So even if it does what it's supposed to do, it won't. It still won't make up for that. So you could just take that money we spent on all those cameras, by the way, used to spy on us. And of course, to John Gold's point, actually, so she could give to her friends and her accomplices in jobs for that to actually pay to put them all in. You could have spent that time instead making actual entryways that can't be jumped. And we'd save $100 million. So she doesn't care at all. So yes. All right, I'm looking over at Rumble. Yes, we are on Rumble. That Liberty Lady, thank you for the dollar, says, is it true that you're streaming to a couple new platforms? Can you explain the Sharpe Way live stream versus stream getting uploaded to Live Sharpe on YouTube, Facebook, and X? Yes, we are streaming. We are streaming on LinkedIn for the first time in a long time. Streaming on Instagram, first time, I think ever. I think so. I think ever. Yep. So on that also. Back on Twitch, been out off Twitch for a while too. So Twitch is back in action. And of course, we're on YouTube, Facebook, X, and one more. I forgot the other one. We're in a bunch, but yes, we are in a bunch. And this is Sharpe Way, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And I will then upload this tomorrow, not the live, to Larry Sharpe, YouTube, Facebook, and X tomorrow. So I will upload that tomorrow. You get it a day late. You guys don't get the live, the cool live, but you do get a day late if you want to. So you can go ahead and join that. So yes, I hope that was clear. And we'll be uploading other things too, of course. So, all righty. Michael says, Michael, Libertarian Pizza Party says, I posted my comments on Facebook. It's a long comment. I got to go through the entire thing, Michael. I will try to go through it if I can. It is a long one, but I will try to go through that if I can. Thank you for the $2. Now, why did I share that $2? Because guys, if you want to, you can if you want to. Super chat me if you're on YouTube. If you're watching me on YouTube, you can super chat me on Sharpe Way YouTube if you want to. You can also, if you're on Rumble, you can also Rumble rant me if you want to, if you happen to be on Rumble watching either of those two. If you're on YouTube, you can also become a member. Click that join button, $4.99 every month. Keeps me doing more of this and less working. I want to do more of this, less work. That's good. If you want to be a member on Rumble, you can click subscribe only during the live. You can become a member on Rumble. All good stuff if you want to, but no matter what, you know what button to click. The one known as like. Absolutely. That's the one that matters. That's the critical one. All right. Let me keep going down here if I could. Let me see if I can grab the comments. As we have so many of them, I will keep going down them, I promise. All righty. John says, do you think audit the Fed will have a chance of passing next Congress? No. However, this is still good news. This is still good news. The idea of audit the Fed, the idea of end the Fed is still a fantasy. Don't get me wrong. Clearly, I want that, but I'm just being realistic. The concept of that right now is still a fantasy. It's not where we are right now. The country doesn't get it. The country is still thinking that the Fed's a good idea. Everything's wonderful. So yeah, so that's where we are right now with ending the Fed. However, if I could be clear, we absolutely could audit the Fed. If you remember, that's what Ron Paul actually says. He talks about auditing the Fed. That's what Tulsi Gabbard talks about, auditing the Fed. And now those people are now moving towards and been in the government now. So this will become the norm in the future. The fact that it's even talked about now is a massive change and great, because the reality of it is we actually can't audit the Fed. Why? Because it's not a government agency. We can't just decide to audit it. That would be unfair. We have to have a reason why are we doing it, right? Then we could, if we have a reason, right? Otherwise, can they just audit a company because I don't like that company? Has to be the random or some reason. So yes, that piece. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I do not think it'll pass, but I think we're on our way. We're closer than we've ever been, if that makes any sense. I do want to head over to LinkedIn. LinkedIn, let's see. LedgerSummit.com is saying, stopping private equity from inflating housing prices is vital. What real policies are needed? The housing crisis is pressing. Is this government intervention enough, or should more be done? The way I think you do it, to be forward with you, as I mentioned this before, is you look for incentives. The problem right now you have with the reason why private equity spent so much time doing it is because it made financial sense. The best way of getting around it is to give them a better thing to invest in. One of the things I brought up in New York State was creating the New York State Social Trust, right? What I call the NIST, the New York State Social Trust. The reason why I wanted that is it copies the idea from the government of Singapore, from Norway, even Saudi Arabia. They all have sovereign funds, and that's how they pay for many of their social issues, right? How can Norway pay for so many, social programs? Well, you have $1 trillion fund with 5 million people. Easy at that point. If New York State can't create that fund, we're an embarrassment. We are the financial capital of this country. If we can't make that, terrible. Make it to where they invest and they get a dividend. You will see them say, I don't want to invest in real estate. It doesn't make any sense. It's risky, blah, blah. Let me put my money into this trust. I'll start making cash. That's how you do it, right? So you de-incentivize them from investing in real estate, and you incentivize them to invest someplace else. That will help pay for social services in some other way, right? About 20% of New York State's budget goes to pensions. Someone should be paying for that, not New York State, right? Taxpayers shouldn't be paying for that. We are, right? We are. So that kind of thing has to change. I think that's how you actually do it. So I hope that answers your question. LedgerSummit.com. You go check him out. I guess he's on LinkedIn. So, or she's on LinkedIn. I shouldn't say he. That person, there we go, is on LinkedIn. So yes. All right. Let's see here. Lunatic says, what's the best way to contact investors? I have a business plan for my vending machines business for CBD products. The best way to contact investors, usually for something like that, generally speaking, you want to go to industry events. Industry events tend to be the best way to talk to investors. People who want to invest very often go to industry events. The problem is you have to get through a lot of people, right, who are doing that. The second piece is find people who politically align with you and look for their donor class, right? So who politically aligns with you, and then who is their donor class? Generally speaking, the heavy hitter donor class is also the investor class. That's not a 100% rule, but it's very common. It usually overlaps. So whoever's in your area, Lunatic, that you think would support this, any politician, if you can go to them, right, and say, hey, I have this plan, can I talk to some of your donors? Or you can just look, you can find the donor base if you want to, and go look and give them a call, reach out to them. It also works. So donor base of a politician who would support this concept or idea. Go to an actual politician who might support this idea because they might want to back you so that they can raise money off of it also, another idea. Also go to industry events and see who's donating and who's supporting small guys like you. Generally speaking, investors like a type. In other words, they prefer to be angel investor, or they prefer to be, private equity investor, which is different levels, right? Are they startup? Are they venture cap? What are they? So I would look at that level too. Those two is where you want to go. I start industry first, politician second. Hope that was helpful. And by the way, I talked about your business plan. Your business plan should not be too long, should be short. Give it to some people who you trust to look at. The odds are it's bad, not because you're bad. The odds are it's bad because you're too close to it. You're close to it. So everything makes sense when you write it because you're too close to it. The other guy watching it or other guy looking at it doesn't get it. Have someone else look at it and go, I don't get it. Okay, I don't get this. I don't get that. Change this, change that. Don't put your business plan out to somebody who you actually want them to give you money if you haven't had somebody else look at it first. You are too close to it's your baby. I can guarantee you've either overlooked something, didn't figure something out. You're the wrong person to judge it. Again, not because it's you, because you're too close. So I hope that was clear. So, all righty. Let me see if I can grab a couple more of these. Also, so many questions. I love all the questions, guys, by the way. So thank you. So don't stop the questions. I like them. Let's see here. All right. I'm also going, if I could, over back to LinkedIn. This is Marimer says, stop giving money to illegals. Well, here's the problem with that, right? I'm not saying that you're wrong. What I'm saying, here's the problem. That is a massive industrial complex. The migrant industrial complex is a massive grift, right? It is a massive grift. So people are making tons of money off of it. It's not, see, the thing is, Mama, if people weren't making money off it, they wouldn't be doing it. And how are they making money off it? Here in New York specifically, right? And I'll give, again, I know New York very well. It's probably wherever you might be. I'm not sure if you're in New York or not, but wherever you are, it's probably similar. People are able to make money off the migrants through the government, right? So one of the reasons why New York City's housing or homeless problem got worse was because there used to be a homeless industrial complex. It still is, but not to the same level. So what would happen is hotels and places like that would take in homeless people, and the state would pay them for it every month, every day, right? X dollars. Well, then hotels said, oh, great. So I'll guarantee have my hotel filled. I got my butt kicked from the lockdowns, so I can make up all this cash by having my hotels filled every night for months on end. And these are homeless people, so they're not going to sue me. They have almost no rights as I see it. So I'm just going to ignore them and give them virtually no services. So I give them no service and I get paid by the government, guaranteed government money, whatever price I want. Damn, done. Well, that was good. And they did it. So that's why they weren't fixing the homeless problem. Why would you? People are making money off it, right? So these guys are also making money. They're donating. They pay taxes. Everybody's happy except for the homeless people, right? They're the only ones who are unhappy. Well, now here come the migrants. You go, well, Why does that matter? Well, because migrants is federal money. So that tap never shuts off because money printed go burr. So that tap never shuts off. State money eventually shuts off. Federal money never shuts off. And it's more. So I get more money, never shuts off. The Roosevelt Hotel here in New York City, which is right by, believe it or not, it's right by Grand Central Station, used to be like a hotel you'd go to and, when you would come here as a visitor. It's a migrant hotel now. Like, that's it. Why? Well, if me and you go to a hotel, we might want some service or something, right? And then we might, decide to leave early or something. But why? Migrants, they have even less rights. So we can just ignore them completely. So customer service is nil. Who cares? And the federal government keeps giving me money forever. Why would I solve the migrant problem? Why would I do that? They're all making cash and it's raining and the elites make money. So while I get what you're saying, I'm not saying you're wrong, but there's, again, no incentive to change it. So why would you? No incentive. So Matthew over on LinkedIn says, good insight, Larry. Thanks. I'm glad I'm able to help. There we go. Christine, thank you for the super chat, $5. Larry, do you speak Greek? You talk super fast. My son's father's Greek, and he talks really fast too. I do not speak Greek. Well, I speak really bad Greek a little bit. That's it. But no, I don't speak Greek. I just speak quickly. That's all. It's just fast. I try to slow down sometimes, but it's hard for me because I get so excited and interested in what I'm saying, and I want to get so much out, but I just speak so fast. I try to slow down. If you hear me often, when I realize I've gone too fast, I will come back and repeat what I just said when I recognize it. I don't always recognize it, though. That's the problem. I don't. I just keep going. So no, I'm just a fast-talking New Yorker. Does it mean you don't trust me, Christine? I hope you do. I'm trying to be trustworthy to the best of my ability. We'll see if you trust me or not. I mean, I trust me. Not sure that's good or not. So yes. Ad Rock over on Instagram says, that's the sad part. People are okay with the minimum they get from the government. This part, okay. This part right now, right, as you just brought up, Ad Rock, is critical. I call this, by the way, the at least mindset. The at least mindset is, well, let's have a government program. Okay, but it's not going to work. You can see how it fails. Yeah, but at least there'll be something. Yes, but now there's something. It's a monopoly and it's garbage. So you've just ensured that the people who are hurting stay hurting. What government does well when it comes to people, almost nothing, but what it does well when it comes to people, is it maintains them just below death. It's good at that. Like, you're probably not going to die if you're on government assistance. I mean, you might, but you're probably not. They're going to keep you right, but you're not going to die, but life's not going to be good for you, because if life gets good for you, then you come off the government plan. If you come off the government plan, well, then where's the jobs in that? If I solve the problem, well, there's no jobs in that. What? No. There's no jobs in that, right? Again, incentives. There's no incentive to fix it. Why would I? So, yes, but the problem is the average person is so worried, right? Why do people say that they love Social Security, that they love Medicaid, Medicare? Is it because it's the best plan in the world? No. They compare it to nothing. Well, compared to nothing, Social Security is great, no doubt. Compared to nothing, Medicare is wonderful, no doubt. Compared to nothing, 100%. They're not dumb. It's true. And the problem is now we create a monopoly and government control and government rules so that now whatever would compete to be better can't even exist. So we just get that little bit, and that's all, nothing else. So thank you for that comment, Ad Rock. I agree. That's a good comment. So, all righty. Kate, thank you for the $4.99. Super chats, always appreciated. How do you decide where to put your money? Everything seems evil. Well, it seems evil, yes. The question is it evil, right? Is it evil? And as I say, generally speaking, it's not evil. Generally speaking, it's apathetic, and the outcome may be evil. That makes any sense, right? And the best one I can give you is military industrial complex, making bombs, right? Companies are making bombs and missiles and whatever. Clearly, they're killing people and blowing people up. Obviously, it's what they're meant for. Do the companies themselves want to kill people or blow people up? Of course not. They don't care. They don't want to do that. If they could make the same amount of money without having to compete, which is the military industrial complex is so powerful because no competition. All they have to do is bribe the appropriate congressmen, senators, deep state people. That's it. You bribe them, you win. That's how you win. You're not competing in the marketplace, right? So they don't even know how to compete in the marketplace. They never have had to. They have no idea. They just know, oh, we own these guys. We pay them. They're on our payroll. And I mean, not officially, but yes. So they're on our payroll and they'll give us contracts. Great. They don't compete. If they fail, so what? If their product doesn't do well, they just get more money. So, I mean, it's amazing. So would they do it without making bombs? Of course. Of course. If there was some way they could sell trucks, right? Or they could sell computers with, again, no competition, just bribe the right guys, give them whatever money they want, they would do it. They don't care. So I don't think it's evil necessarily, Kate. Think about what the outcomes are, then decide if it's evil or not, number one. But number two, generally speaking, where do you want to put your money? Here, if you are very wealthy, that's different. I'm assuming you're not very wealthy. That's my assumption. Otherwise, you'd have a financial advisor, which you may or may not trust. But if you're not very wealthy, here's a good general rule where to put your money. Believe that's not in a house or a car. That's not what I'm going to tell you. Generally speaking, where you want to put your money is going to be in a small, some type of safe fund or bank or something like that, a little bit every month, no matter what. Now, if you can afford it, cryptocurrency too. Now, the problem with cryptocurrency is, as a general rule, if the cryptocurrency has a CEO, it's a gamble. I'll say it again. If the cryptocurrency has a CEO, it's a gamble. Bitcoin has no CEO. Right? There's the advantage. If your cryptocurrency does not have a CEO, much better. If it has a CEO, more of a gamble. But cryptocurrency for the average person is basically one of the only ways you can explode and gain massive wealth. Right? It's one of the only ways for the average person to do so. You're not going to gain massive wealth in real estate unless you're going to be flipping houses and stuff, and that's a massive gamble. Most people lose in that anyway. If you want to try it, Kate, please go ahead. I don't want to say not to. But I don't know how old you are, Kate. But if you're planning on at least investing for 10, 20, 30 years, I literally would start with I'm making this number up. Again, depending on how much you have to spare, take $200 a month and put it into, I don't know, the NASDAQ, a fund, that kind of thing, right? Take $50 every month and buy some cryptocurrency you believe in, Ethereum, if you believe in Ethereum, or Bitcoin, whatever you want, right? I buy Bitcoin. Right, I have a bunch of Bitcoin, not a lot, but I've been having it for a while. So I've got some Bitcoin. I keep investing because it keeps going up. So I just keep investing in it a little bit every day. A little bit every once in a while. I put a little bit extra cash into it. That's what I do. That's my investment. Eventually, one day, if I get in trouble, I'll cash it out, or I won't. Whatever. So if you're looking long term, small amounts every single month into something that's relatively safe. If you feel comfortable, the future, if you feel comfortable in it, that is, I do, because again, private equity is putting money into it now. And that is those high yield bank accounts. Most of them are being supported right now by private equity. Most of them now have enough cash in them to be safe. So I would consider something like that too. They're like, again, I brought Chime, SoFi, places like that. You get 4 or 5%, and you can put $100 every month in. And now you make an investment. It's starting to grow. Now, if you can get a decent amount, you can actually beat inflation. I mean, that's hard. The problem is inflation has been so bad recently, and the stock market, can barely beat inflation now. So you have to beat inflation now, which is even harder. So I do like the idea of cryptocurrency. I do like the idea of slowly putting money away. I think it's the best way of putting your money away. Now I'll add one more thing, and this is going to be a tougher one. Put money in yourself. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean I want you to go back to college and get a master's degree? No, that's a colossal waste of time, unless you want to work for big business or government or academia. If you see your future in big business, government, or academia, go back to school. It is worth it. Only in those cases. If you say, I want to work for government, big business, or academia, if that's what you want for your life, 100% go back to college. It is a great idea. If you don't want to do that, going back to college is a colossal waste of time, money, and energy. So I'd invest in yourself. What does that mean? That could mean a business. That could mean physical health. That could mean understanding finance better and knowing what to do and how to do it. All those things. Investing in yourself is insanely important. So that's where I'd put your money. I put a lot of my money into, believe it or not, my food, as I tell you all the time. I worry about what I eat. That really is important to me. So yes, I hope that was helpful, Kate. Rick says, the LPS show just keeps getting worse. What's the chance of a more libertarian GOP post-MAGA? This is a tough one. You're right. It's getting worse. The problem we have with the LP, and I know a lot of you don't, some of you hate when I talk about the LP. I hear about the LP. I do too. But the problem we have with the LP, I won't go to, usually I get triggered. I won't get triggered this time, Rick. I promise I won't get triggered. I usually do. I will not get triggered. The problem with the LP now is we don't have high profile, savvy candidates that can move us forward. The LP is a Libertarian Party. The movement has lots of people in the movement that are great. And that's different. The movement is not the party. The party requires more candidates who are savvy, can raise money, and who can put the message forward. We don't have many of those, right? On top of that, we need people who can raise money to then, of course, get ballot access. If you don't have ballot access, the LP has no power. I know people get mad. The LP is supposed to be, no. Libertarian Party, the party, not the movement. They're two separate things. The movement has some good people in it and doing some fine work. I'm talking about the party itself. The party has to have ballot access. If it doesn't have ballot access, it means nothing. It needs to focus on ballot access. And if it does that in the next couple of years, we'll be fine. If it doesn't, we're in trouble. What's the chance for more libertarian GOP post-MAGA? Generally speaking, what the Republican Party does, and you can see it in what it's done in the past, it takes a movement, says it is the movement, crushes that movement, and then absorbs it into the establishment. Remember the Tea Party, Freedom Caucus. Yeah. So I don't know. The past has not shown the Republican Party can do very well. The past has not shown well. But could it change? Maybe. I think it's possible. Could we have a more libertarian GOP? Why don't you ask Congressman Justin Amash? Oh, wait, you can't. He's not in Congress anymore. You could ask the people who run the Freedom Caucus. Oh, wait, no, they're all gone. You could ask Thomas Massey. Oh, wait, yeah, he won, but he got primaried more than once by establishment. Yeah, not looking good is what I'm saying, Rick. I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to be very clear. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope the GOP becomes more like Thomas Massey, more like Rand Paul. I hope it does. I'm not sure it will. I think we still have to fight as libertarians to try to have a better party to be able to push them our way. Now, the advantage we know that we had an ability. Why? Last year, Trump, Ramaswamy, and Kennedy all came to our convention. So we got something going on. Let's take advantage of that. That means they know we have some power. Third parties is still powerful in America, right? The reality of it is Trump would have never won as decisively as he did without the Kennedy people. The Maha movement is what got Trump to win decisively and to get the popular vote. Does not happen without Kennedy. So I hope that answers. Michael says, I usually invest through Acorns. A lot of people invest through things like that. I like the idea. I do. So great. Thank you for that, Michael. Guys, thank you so much for the super chats. Again, if you want to super chat me, you can if you happen to be on Sharpe Way YouTube. But you can no matter what. Click the like button. You can share no matter what. Absolutely. It does matter. Every share counts. Please share. No matter where you're watching, the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo is going to help no matter what. So please don't stop that. It does matter. And sharing is caring. And you know I care. Of course you do. Yes, absolutely. So Mike says, by the way, Greenland is now open to deal with Trump. So the fear mongering seems to have helped motivate a deal that in 2019 got no traction in news coverage. Here's the issue, as I mentioned earlier, with Greenland. The people have to decide. And that's why you're saying Greenland's open. People think Denmark has to decide. Denmark does not have to decide. The people of Greenland have to decide. That's the issue. If the people of Greenland agree, then it can happen. If they don't, it cannot. That's the issue. Last I checked, there was not a huge movement in Greenland to become American. Last I checked. I don't know if that's changed or not. So lastly, there was not, but maybe they want to come aboard. I don't know why they would, but maybe they do. Is Denmark not good for them? I don't know. Maybe they want make it rain money. Maybe they want their check too. Maybe, Mike. I don't know. We'll see. So, yes, we'll see if that's true. All righty. Love my canine. Thank you for the $5. Would you speak a bit on NATO, please? Why is Trump anti-NATO? Benefits of NATO, Ukraine, NATO's significance. Yes. All right. NATO. NATO should have been ended once the Soviet Union ended. And a lot of people think I'm wrong. Doesn't matter. They are wrong. Right? They are wrong. NATO should have gone away after the Soviet Union went away. NATO's goal, the entire point was to fight against the Soviet Union, which the Soviet Union, by the way, for those you don't remember or you're too young to know, had its own NATO. It was called the Warsaw Pact. They signed an agreement in Warsaw, Poland, and that was all the communist bloc or Soviet puppet states, whatever, all together to stop NATO. It was NATO against the Warsaw Pact. Well, the Warsaw Pact was gone. Didn't exist anymore. It's gone. Why did NATO stay? NATO should have gone away. All NATO does is bad. Be very clear. It's bad. It's not good. What NATO does is it creates Russia as an enemy. At one point, Russia asked if it could join NATO, and they said no. Well, then why? Well, Larry, we need some kind of group. Okay, you have the EU. That's fine. You have the EU. But Larry, what if something happens and the world has to get together to fight? We did that already. It was Kuwait. You create a coalition of the willing, and they go fight the war if they think the person's bad or the thing is bad. So could we have stopped? Here's my argument against NATO when people talk about Ukraine. If Russia is wrong for invading Ukraine, I know some people think they aren't not going to fight that issue. I'm just saying, assuming they're wrong, wouldn't the world want to get together and say, Russia, stop? And we're going to get together and we're going to fight and push the Russians out. Now, the argument is, well, Larry, to make that happen, it'd be too long. Russia might have invaded Ukraine and controlled them. Maybe true. The Iraqis invaded Kuwait and took over Kuwait. And it took us 6 months to 8 months before we could take it back. But the world got together, put pressure on Iraq, and then invaded and took Kuwait back. Kuwait now is independent on its own, has lost no land. None. Kuwait is now, it took a year of to being brutalized under Hussein. That's true. But now they're free and have lost no land. It's been 3 years in Ukraine. They're being brutalized by the Russians. That's true. Again, whatever side you're on doesn't matter. That's what's happening right now. With that happening right now, and unless something magically happens, they're not going to have all their land back. It would take a miracle for them to get all their land back. That's not going to happen. So they're going to lose their land, and they've been brutalized for 3 years. Wouldn't it have been better if the Russians had maybe taken half of it or whatever they did, and then the entire world got together and go, Russia, you got to back off. No, we're not accepting this. No, that's not what happened. What happened is NATO said, we hate Russia and we're going to fight you. And the non-NATO nations said, well, we're going to back Russia then. And they did. India's been helping Russia. China's been helping Russia. There's no coalition of willing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's America backing NATO to push this thing through. And also NATO had to do it. Why? Because once you have these forced treaties that are standing treaties, you find an enemy. We found one in Serbia. Remember that? We went and fought in Yugoslavia for what? That was NATO bombing people in Serbia for what? So we find enemies. The reason why World War I happened was standing alliances. World War I causes World War II. Why? Standing alliances. Standing alliances are a bad idea for America. It's a bad idea for the world. What's the old British, is it British saying? Britain has no eternal allies, only eternal interests. That's every country. And that's what they should be. So NATO was set up as a way of funding the military-industrial complex. Why? If you become NATO, you have to have NATO available equipment, materiel, right? So in NATO, you use the 5.56 millimeter round. That's what you use, right? You have to. Why? It makes sense. Because now it doesn't matter where we are. We're using the same rounds. It doesn't matter whether I'm French or whether I'm German or whether I'm Polish. I got the same bullets. So we're good, right? I got the same everything. So we have to unify everything. Make everything uniformed. Sorry, not unified. Make everything uniform. We have to, which makes sense. I'm not mad about that. Same kind of rounds, same artillery shells, right? Same kind of stuff, right? Makes sense. I get it completely. And you have to spend a bunch of money on this, a certain percentage. I think it's 3%, maybe 2%. I think it's 3% of your GDP you must spend on military. Well, who's selling out military? We are. So now you have to buy from us. So NATO is a jobs program for America. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Now, I'm not against Americans having jobs. It's wonderful. But we should be having jobs making things that help people. Going back to Kate's problem, I'd like it to not be evil. Here's the part. Of our manufacturing in America, about 50% is somehow connected to the military-industrial complex. About 10% acts like bombs and weapons and such. But all the rest are things like trucks and food and whatever. The military-industrial complex runs a huge chunk of our manufacturing. Well, why? NATO. You want the benefits of NATO? Upstate New York, half the jobs, new jobs up in New York, all come out of military-industrial complex. That's the benefit of NATO. That's the reason. Why is Trump anti-NATO? It gets us into wars. That's why. That's why. Now, the argument that people will tell you about Ukraine, some of you are going to be mad, but you ask, I don't care. We have to stop Russia, they will say, because if Russia gets Ukraine, they'll conquer the rest of Europe. Oh, okay. So to stop that, we have to make Ukraine NATO. That's the argument. So if he wants to take over Europe, why does it matter after Ukraine's NATO? Because he won't attack NATO. Oh, so once he conquers Ukraine, the next countries are all NATO. Well, yeah. So you just said he won't go through NATO. Right. So how does it take over the entire world? Well, Putin's evil. That's not an answer. It doesn't make any sense. If NATO is a magic wall that he will not attack, well, then the wall's right after Ukraine. Why are we worried? It doesn't make any sense. Well, once you get Ukraine, he's going to attack the rest of the world. You just told me NATO's a magic wall. It's a magic wall, which is now all around Ukraine. So if Ukraine falls, no one else gets attacked. Why? Magic NATO wall. Doesn't make any sense. This war is a proxy war to harm Russia. That's what this is. Whether you think Russia was right or wrong, whatever, right? I do not condone Russia invading. Just my personal opinion. But I know a lot, it's very controversial. People get mad and upset. I don't need to fight that about it right now. But the point is, regardless of what you think, the idea that he's going to take over the entire world is insanely stupid. He can't conquer Ukraine. 3 years, he can't conquer Ukraine. He's going to now all of a sudden invade Estonia? He's going to invade Poland? What are you, crazy? Never going to happen. That's a fantasy. And people will you'll hear all the time, he's going to reunite the Warsaw Pact. No, he's not. Stop. That's not going to happen. That's fear-mongering. Everybody's Hitler. Everybody's always Hitler. That's why we fight. None of it's true. But people believe it because they want to keep fighting. Now, again, I'm not saying he's right, but I hope that answers your question. NATO should go away. It's a colossal waste of time, money, and energy. They've been telling us, our founders told us that standing alliances were a problem. We ignored them. Our founders told us that political parties were a problem. We ignored them. We should not have ignored them. They were right. They were right. So anyway, okay. Let's see. Josh says Patriot needs to be repealed. Yes. 100%. Lunatic says there are so many laws to be removed from the books. Here is the answer for this, Lunatic. And I brought this up when I ran for governor twice. Both times I brought it up, and I'll bring it up again. Every single law, and repeat this, every single law should have a 6-year sunset. If it is not if it is not reauthorized, it goes away in 6 years. Every single law, no exception. You must redo it every time. But Larry, they'll spend all their time looking at these old laws to do. Yes, good. Stop making new shit that doesn't matter. New York State, according to Kathy Hochul, had 600 new laws last year. 600. What state needs 600 new laws? But what about murder? We've had murder on the books since Hammurabi. We've had murder on the books since what? 4,000 years? What is that? Is that Hammurabi? 4,000? 4,000 or 5,000 years. Dude, this is already in the books. We're good. But now, what if they forget to redo murder? Shut up. They're going to forget to redo murder. Stop. Like, what planet do you live on? Just stop that stupid shit. They're not going to. So not at all. It's just not true. So, yes. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. You're totally correct. Every law should be 6-year sunset. It goes away unless you have to redo it every time. And every single re-up of a law should be single issue bill. That's all. That's it. Absolutely. Super weapons. Joining late, can I get a recap? What's been discussed? Dude, it's been an hour. You mean to recap an hour? Also, agreed on a sunset clause. We have no mechanisms for getting rid of bad laws. Problem. Correct. Yes. Yeah. You're going to have to go back, and I know I speak quickly. I just got attacked already about how fast I speak by Christine. She got mad at me. So I'm teasing you, Christine. So you're going to have to go back and do it at double speed or 1.5. And hopefully your ears don't bleed. Sorry, with weapons. I hope your ears don't bleed. So yes. It's about NATO just recently. That's something, I guess. So yes. I know, I just keep going. So Phil says, when selling used cars, was never asked to, what do you want to spend, but asked, what do you want your payment to be? We plan on payment terms. People tend to care most about payments. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Roger says, so P is now looking at e-money transfer apps, food, and pets. Yes, that is where they're going now. You're going to see that. You're going to see that pop up coming up here, Roger, in the next 3 to 6 months. You're going to see a push for, which you've seen a little bit already. If you spend time on mainstream TV, if you spend any time on looking at some of the apps, you're already seeing a push to get rid of your old bank. Go to the one I remember is Chime, but there's a bunch of them, right? Do that, and you could get paid 2 days early and stuff like that. All those places, you see that all the time, right? So yes, that is the future, and of course, food and pets. Pets are exploding, right? People, and this is a sad thing for America, but it's true. People aren't connecting as much as we used to anymore at all, particularly if you're under 30. Oh my God, it's terrible. And if you're over 50, divorce rate is insane. So we're breaking up over 50 and not getting together under 30. Ugh, it's a big issue. And we're not having children, which is, we're not having children so much that it's literally affecting colleges. Yes, the crushing of the American family that's been started for years is now catching up. So there aren't enough people who are now 18 years or older to join college anymore. Now, college in general, people have been, particularly men have decided to not go to college anyway. They're like, it's stupid, I don't want to go. And then there's not as many kids. So what have we been doing? This goes back to the last thing that Trump was talking about. We've been bringing on foreign students like there's no tomorrow. We are filling our college with foreign students. Why? Americans aren't going. There aren't enough kids. And then those who are here don't want to go. So we got to bring on the foreign students in, and they'll pay more because they're foreign students. So colleges can rake them over the coals, right? Again, note this thing. Why would we want, quote, illegals, as I forgot who said that. Let me see if I can find. Was that Merriman who said that? Yes. Why do we want them? Why? Because we can put them in hotels and give them no rights. Makes total sense. Why we want the foreign students? Because they're not citizens. They don't have any rights. Great. We can punish them too. Rake them over the coals. So they're bringing those people in now. You've seen that happen a lot, right? Now you add that together, and what are you having? People are buying more pets. That's not wrong. Dogs, cats, everywhere. And they know that. They see the trend, so they want to invest. They're going to invest in things like pet foods and specialized pet collars. They're investing in all those types of things. And their goal, of course, it hasn't happened yet, but it will very soon. This is the next thing you'll see in the next year or two, Roger. Watch this. You will watch them all begin to merge. Why? Because private equity makes money on M&A activity. Those who know what M&A is mergers and acquisitions. They make money on that. It's a big money maker. Again, you put things together, and what do? You fire people and put things together, and you make a cut on it. It's a common thing. Also, it makes it easier to not go public. What does that mean? All right. Why do people go public? They usually go public because they want to raise money. So I want to raise a bunch of money, so I go public. But if I go public, now I'm responsible. I might go to jail with the new rules and such. What do? Two choices. Choice number one, I go public someplace else. Literally. Toronto Stock Exchange exploded after Enron because we made all these rules to make it harder to go public in America. So they went, well, we will go public in Canada instead. They went to Toronto. Toronto was like, Canadians were like, yeah, please put all them rules. We love it. So everybody went to Canada to go public. So they either go public in another country, or they, instead of going public, they buy somebody. You might go, what? I don't get that. Okay, Raj, let me explain. Again, me and Kim, we have our business. We have our business that makes farming material, and you have business too. And your business is pet food. That's your business. And I go, I'm going to make some extra money. Now, me and Kim did our first scam by becoming a finance company. So we made a ton of money on that, becoming a finance company. Now we finance all our stuff. Now, we don't have any better products at all. Like our products are the same. They haven't gotten any better because we didn't put any money into it. Why would we? When instead we can become a finance company and make cash. So now our bank comes back to us and goes, hey, Kim and Larry, you're making tons of money on this finance thing. And we go, yeah, we were thinking about putting money into our company, giving our workers some more cash, giving us a little piece, a little taste, and also reinvesting in some R&D and making some better products. And the bank goes, that's stupid. What? Yeah, that's dumb. Okay, I don't care about your workers. That's dumb. I'll get you tons of cash. Don't worry about that. I'll hook you up. Don't worry about it. I'm going to have you buy Roger's company. And me and Kim go, okay, Roger makes pet food. Yes. Why do we buy his company? We make tractors and stuff. Why don't we instead make better tractors? No, that's dumb. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you buy Roger's company. Okay. We're going to raise a bunch of money to buy his company. Well, how much is Roger's company worth? It's worth about, $5 million. Well, it's nice, but we make a lot of money. No. We're going to buy it for like 15. What? Yeah, we're going to raise like $15 million to buy his $5 million company. That literally is what happens. Now, Roger goes, I don't want to sell my company. I like my pet food company. Roger, we'll give you a check for $6 million. Oh. And you can stay on for a little bit if you want to. We'll give you like a year salary. You'll stay on as like, whatever, advisor or whatever. And we'll give you $6 million cash. And you go, I'm going to sell my company. So they go off and they raise 15 million. They give Roger 6. I'm not joking. He takes the money and goes, thank you so much. Take my company. We take the company, Roger's company, and we sell everything. All of it. We sell it all. Everything. Well, we sell it all. We get a couple $1 million in our pocket. We just made that money, plus $15 million that we got from that. And then we take all that cash. I take a $2-3 million bonus. Kim takes $2-3 million bonus. The bank takes $2-3 million. We get a couple $1 million into the company, and we start making some more money, and we pay the debt off. Happens all the time. Roger's happy. He got $6 million. You're going to see a lot of that happening. That's going to start happening this year and next year. And because you want to consolidate. So I could compete against someone, or I could just buy them out. Because the next year comes by. Again, now Kim and I, we got tons of money now. We're doing great. By the way, we haven't given our workers a raise yet because that gets in the way. We haven't made a better product yet because that gets in the way. We found other ways of raising money. Well, now we got a problem because here comes Carl. And Carl's savvy. Carl actually makes a very impressive tractor. It's really good. Way better than ours. Ours is years old because we haven't done anything special. Me and Kim, we got lazy. We ain't doing nothing. We are lazy. We're just making cash every other way we can. Well, Carl's he's hardcore. So he's making a great tractor. And I go, damn, Kim, we're going to have to do some work now. Carl's coming up on us. He's taking part of the market. He's good. Baker comes by. Larry, Kim, stop. Okay, stop. I don't care if your workers suffer. Let them fire. They're expendable. Who cares? That's what he says to us. He says, don't worry about that. Don't make a better product. Who cares about the farmers? Don't worry about that. We're going to buy out Carl. What? So buy him out. But Carl's doing great. I know. We buy him out. That's going to happen. So now they write Carl a check. They raise $15 million. Write a check to Carl for $8 million. Carl goes, oh my God, thanks for $8 million. Walks away. We take his stuff. What do we do? We sell it all. Or if we want to, we keep it. If it makes sense, we keep his stuff and sell ours. If his stuff's better, we keep his stuff, sell ours. And then if we sell ours, we fire all our employees and use his employees now. Done. Again, Kim and I, we just use banking. So I know that sounds horrible. It's just true. It's just true, right? Many times you guys hear me on this show, and I hope you get, I'm not trying to be negative. That isn't my goal. My goal is to get you to understand how the system works so you can act accordingly. That's the goal. Understand how the system works so you can act accordingly. Two good facts. Thank you for the $2. So are we the bad guys globally? Well, let me give you a story that I heard. This is from, I think, was the Middle East? Maybe. Guy in the Middle East is talking to somebody. I a video? Forgot where it says years ago. He says, you Americans are funny. You make movies like Star Wars and you root for the rebels. You don't understand. You're the empire. We're the rebels. You root for the people who are against you. That's how the world sees us. The world sees us as the empire. Yes. That's how they see us. You can ask people. They say it all the time. Yes. They see us as the empire. It is true. I wish it wasn't. But it is. I remember chatting about the Middle East, talking about how you'd have to fix something. I was explaining how to fix it. You have to fix whatever. And someone joked and said, Larry, you should go over there and fix it. And a guy who was from Denmark, he said, just what they need, another American in their stuff. And he wasn't joking when he said it. That was meant to insult me. It was meant to insult us if you're an American. That's what it was meant to do. And he's Danish. Like, so he wasn't, it wasn't like he was like, whatever, Palestinian or something like that. No, Danish. Just the world needs another American in there. That's what he said. So, yeah, that is how they see us. I know people don't like to hear that, but it is how they see us. Yes. All righty. See if I can grab some of these if I can. Brendan says, America and Canada should remove minimum wage, add UBI instead of welfare and Social Security, or use negative income tax and remove all tariffs. I have thought in many ways about UBI and negative income tax and such. And I understand the theory behind UBI completely. I definitely understand the theory behind it. The idea, of course, is if you just give the money out, then, that would be better than having to go through all the bureaucracy. And theoretically, I get it, right? And if I honestly believed, I don't believe this, but if I believed that if we actually had UBI, that all the other things would actually go away, right? That it was just UBI, there's no Social Security, there's no public assistance, there's no EBT, nothing. It is just, here is your money, take it. If I honestly believe that, and if I honestly believe there'd be nothing else that would happen after, which it would, because here's what would happen in reality, Brendan. The second we do that, somebody would say, well, that makes sense. I get that we get whatever, $2,000 a month or whatever is the number they make up, whatever that number is. But I have 4 kids, so I need $2,500. Or I'm a veteran, I need $2,300. Or I'm retired early, or I'm disabled. I'm whatever. I'm the thing. You have to give me more money. And I know, Brendan, you would say, that's not how UBI works. But I want to buy votes, and I'm a congressman. And in my district, I got a bunch of vets, or a bunch of single moms, or a bunch of insert group that wants money, a bunch of disabled people, whatever. I have a bunch, and my race is real tight. Like me and Andrea, we're neck and neck in my primary. So if I go and say, well, the vets should get $2,200 or whatever the number is, the vets might vote for me. I could buy votes with that. I'm gonna. So UBI becomes the same thing. Now, you might go, is that really a bad thing? Yes, because once that happens, you rebuild the bureaucracy again. And now you have the rules and laws again. You might just keep what you got then at that point. If I honestly believed that it would be one check, one thing, all the bureaucracy is gone. No IRS, no nothing, no Social Security Administration. They're all gone. If I honestly believe that, I would be more open to UBI. I would. I just don't believe it, man. If I could believe it, I'd be open to the idea, because that would be better than what we have now, right? I agree. That would be better than what we have now. I'd like it to, we don't have any handouts, obviously, but am I kidding myself? We're nowhere near that. Over 60 million Americans get a check from the government every month. We are nowhere near that. Not even close. And that doesn't count grants, doesn't count discounts, doesn't count all that stuff, right? Doesn't count all that stuff. So we're nowhere near that. If I believe this was true, I would do it. So thank you for that one, Brandon. I appreciate that. I'm heading over to Instagram. Jess LWB says, is this live, Larry? Yes, it is. We're New Yorkers. We talk fast. That's true. We do. So I'm glad you're watching live. There we go. So we do have a couple people watching live on Instagram. I appreciate it. Shredan says, your head will explode at 1.75 speed. He's not wrong. Don't do 1.75 speed. Maybe your head will explode. Do like, I don't know, 1.5. How about that? Do 1.5. How about that? Maybe that's something to do. So, all right, let's see if I can grab here if I can. Julie, thank you for being a member. Always a pleasure to catch your lives. Thank you. Membership does matter. I appreciate the members tremendously. Absolutely. Phil says, if this is an AMA, we need to have some wild questions. We're on our way, aren't we? I think we are. Kevin says, what will Hochul do on January 21st for money? She's already doing it already. She's jumping through hoops now. For those of you who don't realize that, New York State and California are the same in many things. And here's the one biggest one. Their entire plan for their budget is Uncle Joe writing checks. That's the plan. There's no other plan but that. That's the plan. Well, we're way behind. Correct. How are we going to get more money? Uncle Joe write me a check. Okay, Uncle Joe lost the election. Damn. That was the plan. Yeah. That was the plan. So yes, she's gonna try to get more people to give her stuff, and then she will blame Trump for everything. Watch the blame. Right? The second this goes wrong, it's all his problem. So yes. Alrighty. Pickleball says, what's the best pizza topping? I have two that I like a lot, and I go back and forth between the two. Pepperoni and mushrooms. Those two that I like the best. I think pepperoni is the best. Mushrooms number two. That's the best. Never, ever pineapple. AC agrees with me. Pepperoni. Correct. That was the correct answer, AC. That was the correct answer. Never pineapple. That it should be against the law. Now, I'm a libertarian in every way but this. You deserve, absolutely you deserve due process. Except if you put pineapple on pizza. Then you deserve no due process whatsoever. Straight to jail. Straight to jail. Straight to jail. There we go. So that's how I feel about pineapple on pizza. No due process, straight to jail. That's it. I'm a New Yorker. We do not put pineapple on pizza. And there's an exception. If you come from Hawaii, you may put pineapple on pizza, but you must show proof that you come from Hawaii. If you can't show proof you come from Hawaii, straight to jail. That's how it works when it comes to that. Just, that's all I'm saying. Not that I have a strong feeling on this. Best era of music, 1980s. 70s too, but 80s, 1980s. Why? Because that's when I was in high school. So yes, that's the reason why. That's the only reason why. So yes. Julie says, black olives. Now focus, people. See, that's your fault. See, Phil, that's your fault. We didn't focus because you. Blame Phil. Julie, don't blame me. Blame Phil. That's who you want to blame right there. All right? Don't blame me. That was Phil. Julie says, mushrooms have great value as topping. Yep. Also true. See that? I'm right. Those are two big ones. I was right the whole time. Yes. And then Pickleball goes, nobody throws men at me but pepperoni and pineapple. I told you about that. Pickleball. No pineapple. You were good with, you said pepperoni first. So because you said pepperoni first, I'm not going to put you in jail for pineapple because you said pepperoni first. So you'll be okay. All right. Phil says, I think you're right about praise of the 80s. Yes. 65 to 75. Not bad. I agree. Early hip hop. Yep. Early hip hop was amazing. 100%. Yes. 100%. Yes. All righty. John says, do you think the next Congress will repeal the 16th Amendment? Are you high? What? Never. Never. You might as well go say, do you think the next Congress will make sure it doesn't make any money? Never. Never. Straight End says over on Rumble, I thought Trump was crazy for campaigning in California and talking about water. The fires have shown me the Trump way. The thing that people didn't get, and when this was happening, and I talked about this, Trump going to the Bronx. Did I think Trump was going to win the Bronx? No way. There is no way that I thought Trump was going to win the Bronx. No way I thought it was going to happen. Was it right for him to go there? 100% yes. It was a brilliant move. What it did was it showed the rest of the country that Trump will go anywhere when Harris would not. It was a brilliant move. Again, he was not going to win the Bronx, but did he increase his showing in the Bronx? 100% yes. Of course he did. That's one of the reasons he did so well in the popular vote was because of going to California and going to New York, right? And of course, the other thing is he raises a lot of money in California, raised a lot of money in New York. A lot of people raise money. So yes, absolutely. So there we go. All right. Straight on. Thank you for the $3. I appreciate it. Marshall says, no French or Italian, obvious about the hand movements. How dare you call me French or Italian? Any Latin when you see right here the flag of Deutschland. When you see the flag of Germany right here, you would dare insult me, Marshall, by calling me French or Italian. You see the flag of the fatherland right there. Right there. Come on now. I don't see a Greek flag there. I don't see an Italian flag there. I don't see a French flag there. I don't see that. It's two flags. American flag, which is what I am, a proud American. That, by the way, is my father's flag. He was a veteran. When he passed away, they gave me that flag. and a German flag. Represents my mother. Represents my father and my mother. My father, American, serviceman. My mother, German. My father met my mother in Germany, and that's where I come from. So yes, so that's my mother and my father right there. So don't do that. Anyway, we can keep going. There we go. All righty. Let's see here. Phil says, Chicago deep dish pizza is almost like lasagna. It's so good. Okay, yes, but it's not pizza. I'm not saying it isn't a good thing. I'm saying it's not pizza. That's all I'm saying. So just keep that piece in mind. It is not pizza. So, yes. All righty. Over on Instagram, JW says, so what is Larry up to nowadays? Doing this and raising money and hopefully trying to get back in action to where I can actually run for office again. So, yes, absolutely. JW goes on to say, have you heard Jimmy Dore's argument on ending the Electoral College? I have not heard that argument. I don't see us ending the Electoral College anytime soon. I don't. I can't imagine us doing it. I mean, it could be done, but it's not. The country's not there yet, right? Particularly after Trump won the popular vote, I don't see it being a thing anymore. I mean, maybe, but I don't see it. What I would do, I'll tell you what I would do, JW, is I will look at that and see if I can find it and give you my opinion on that. I don't know. So yes. All righty. See if I can go down here. Kate says, which is a better return for you, YouTube or Rumble? Of course, Rumble. YouTube smacks the hell out of me always. YouTube, yeah, always. 100%. Always. YouTube, yes. YouTube is the nanny state. It's the nanny state in every way, shape, or form. So, all righty. The AC says, every time I see Bitcoin, I think it couldn't possibly go higher. Man, I wish I'd have bought a bunch of it when it was a couple $100 each. Here's the part that gets me angry. On a personal level, just me personally, I'm mad at myself for this. People came to me. I'm libertarian. I've been libertarian for many years. People came to me when Bitcoin was $200 a Bitcoin. I should have put 10 grand into it then. I didn't. Talk about FOMO. Yes, massive FOMO. Like massive FOMO. Yes. Kate says not wealthy. I assumed you weren't, Kate. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be asking me. You would have, for those who don't know, one of the most important things that people who are super wealthy do is they literally have what's called a family office. Have you ever heard what a family office is? People have so much money, I'm not joking, that they have to have a group of people, a company that manages all their money. That's called a family office. So I have so much money that I can't handle it. Like I would just spend my entire life figuring out what to do with my money. Well, I can't afford that. So I pay people with an office and people to spend my money because I can't spend it. I got too much of it. I wish I was joking. I'm not. Because, okay, who's going to know what to invest in? Who's going to know what to give out for philanthropy? Who's going to know what politicians I got to bribe? I'm sorry, give money to, right? Who's going to know all that stuff? Well, I got to pay people so they can do the homework and go, no, bribe. I'm sorry, give money to this guy. Give money to that guy, right? Do that. Oh, and this is the person you should give money to for this. This is the person this is the investment you should do. You should buy this kind of artwork. You should buy this kind of so-and-so. I'm serious. It's called the family office. And family offices are some of the most important things for people who are wealthy to have because how should they care of it? So I didn't assume you had a family office, Kate. If you did, you wouldn't be asking me for help. You would have like 8 people telling you what to do, and you would not know half of it. You wouldn't know half of it. So yes. Andrea says, I agree. I hope the Republican Party leans more toward Rand Paul and Thomas Massie Party. I hope that is true. I really do. John, thank you for the 499. I appreciate the super chat tremendously. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. I'm trying to give what I hope to be some cool value. That's the case. Michael says, Larry, ever seen the Care Bears? I did. Yes, I have. Remember, I have 2 girls. My youngest one did not really like Care Bears very much. My oldest one loved Care Bears. She did love Care Bears. In fact, one Christmas, and for those of you who know, Care Bears kind of came back. Like they were kind of popular like in the 80s, and they kind of came back in like the 2000s. They came back. And when they came back, my oldest daughter was young enough to enjoy them. So we actually went like on like eBay or something. I forgot what. And we actually went, I'm not joking, and bid to get a bunch of old Care Bear stuff. So that toys, so we could get it to her for like Christmas so she could play with them. She loved Care Bears. Absolutely. Yes. Gotcha. Mike says the Greenland deal is not to be American. That's media hype. That's what I thought. Okay, yes. It's for rare earth minerals, metals, and defensive base versus China and Russia. And see, Mike, thank you for saying that. It's what I was saying the whole time. If any of you happen to watch my show I was talking about Greenland, Panama, and Canada. And I mentioned literally these things. This was the entire deal. It was to get Greenland to be more anti-China, more than anti-Russia, right? More anti-Russia too, but that's secondary. Primary is China. China has been trying to get total control of Greenland's resources for years. It has not been working. It has not been working. They've been trying for years. And so America wants to step in and go, no, we got you. And yeah, I do think Greenland is far more open to Americans than the Chinese. They're far more open to them. I think that's true. So I wouldn't doubt that might actually work, Mike. I think that actually could work. So yes. All righty. Over on Instagram, the Nomadic Cole says the problem with Rumble is that even though there's no censorship, Rumble has low viewers. It's true, right? And a less popular platform and less user-friendly. I complained about Rumble all the time. You are right. Right? Mike likes Rumble a lot. Mike Voss loves Rumble. I think he prefers Rumble, I think, but he'll tell me if he does, but I know he likes Rumble. I'm on it because my team told me to go on it. Because it's not user-friendly. I don't have many views on it, but I do. I go anyway. And guys, but there is more money. So if you want to help out that way, Rumble is better for cash. That's true. It is. So yeah, it's true. But the user interface, not so great. Not so great at all. That's also true. Yes. So Duke of Fast, thank you for the $5. Bitcoin is the pet rock of the digital age. It's currency that's being used as an investment, meaning rather than its intended use. Bitcoin is the pet rock of the digital age. The digital age is a currency that is being used as an investment rather than its intended use. Yes, agreed, Duke. But how else is the average person? How is the average person going to get a 10x return, 5x return? How? That's the way, right? I started putting money into Bitcoin when it was like 10,000. I'm not joking. Now it's 100,000. 10x return. How is you going to get that? How? They know nobody get that? Nobody get that. So I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm not saying buy a pizza with it, put some mushroom pepperoni. I'm not saying that. I'm saying use an investment. That's how you use it. If you are very wealthy, you can buy a building, right? Because you're very wealthy. So you say, I'm gonna buy a building. Why are you gonna buy a building? Because I can buy a building, keep the building for a year or two if I know, and I know what's gonna happen to it. Why? Because I bribe politicians, so I know when it's gonna be rezoned, because I'm gonna bribe them into rezoning it. I know this because I'm wealthy. So I buy a building in a crappy area that costs me $10 million because I'm wealthy. I buy it. I then bribe a couple politicians. That costs maybe $500,000 at max. I mean, probably less than that, but maybe $500,000. I bribe them. They rezone it. It all of a sudden becomes worth 10 times. I then sell for $100 million. Okay, that's great. Well, Duke, I don't have $10 million. I don't think Kate has $10 million either, nor the $500,000 to bribe all the politicians. I don't have that either. I don't think she does either. What are we going to do? So I'm not saying you're wrong, but to be forward, the guys who invested in Pet Rock made a killing. They made a lot of money. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, all right. Carl says Britain's eternal ally is Portugal. Oh, is that true? I like that. I believe that. Mike has bad news. Says the founders of the danger of standing alliances. Yes, yes, and yes. Absolutely. Yes. That's the whole point, right? The AC says they should let both Russia and Ukraine into NATO, and that way, if Russia invades Ukraine again, they'd be obligated to stop themselves. Brilliant idea. To be forward, if NATO was going to exist, if it was, they should have invited Russia into it, of course. But they didn't. Why? Because NATO was made to stop Russia. That's the point. That's the entire point. NATO was made to stop Russia. Otherwise, why wouldn't you invite Russia in? Russia is part of North Atlantic, right? Hungary is part of North Atlantic. They're not in North Atlantic. Why is Hungary in NATO? They're a landlocked country. They're not North Atlantic. Russia actually is. So, yeah. Ryan says, the USA also needs to opt out of the UN. 100%. No. All right. Why did I back off on that one? The UN actually has value. Now, hear me out before you yell at me. Hear me out. The problem with the UN is that we sometimes give it actual power and authority. That's silly. The UN should be two things and two things only. One, it is a place to let out your issues and concerns publicly. It is a forum. That's true. It is much better for some Russian leader to bang his shoe on a table and go, we will destroy you, than to invade, right? So I can be theatrical. I can keep my people happy. I can play my political games. I can do all of that and do my political theater at the UN. So that's valuable. Second, when the group of countries get together and decide to do something together, it's nice having a UN flag. So there is some value to the UN. So when countries say, we do want to get together and have a peace something or other, great, UN's a nice flag. We do want to go over and educate people on how to have clean water or whatever. It's nice having the UN flag. So there's some value to the UN. My problem is we act like it actually has authority and like its rules mean anything. The problem with the UN is the rules don't mean anything. Unless, I don't know, I like the rules and they mean something. So take away the rules, allow it to be a place for people to be theatrical politically, and then have a cool flag when countries decide to do stuff together. Then I'm for the UN. I'm in for that. And we're going to pay a couple bucks for that. I think that's worth it. That to me, that's worth it. I like that idea. So yes. All righty. Let's see here. All right. Kim says they will get tired of reading the laws. Then maybe they'll stop making new ones, Kim. Maybe they'll stop making new ones. There we go. John says 2 times pay attention. You can't listen to me at 2 times. Maybe if you are a fellow New Yorker and you've been listening to me for years, maybe you could. That's about the only way you can be listening to me at that. Yes. Colidi says college tuition has crushed families. Yes. Colleges is embarrassment, and college is suffering like this. College will have to change. It's going to have to. In the next 5 years, it's have to change. Men aren't going anymore. Americans aren't going anymore compared to what they were going. And the women who are going, and only women really, well, not only, but far more women are going than men, they're not getting their value. They're all in debt. There is a massive debt crisis happening right now in America, and most of it's women. America, women, why women? 2 reasons. Younger women make more money than men right now, so they spend more money, number 1. Number 2, they're all in college debt. So a lot of men are saying, I'm not going to college. And you're seeing that. I mean, it's still a lot, but you're seeing it do this more and more and more. And as less men go to college, less men will have debt. So more and more women, younger women, are having more and more debt. Also, same thing. Women are breaking up. 50 plus, something like that, is a massive increase in divorce. The problem is the average woman after getting divorced has like a 20% decrease in their income, something like that. The average man has like a 10, 15% increase in income. So the same thing. Women are having more debt. And both of you have the same lifestyle. So the man has the same lifestyle, woman has the same lifestyle, but the man's making 10% more, we're making 20% less. She's going to have more debt. So yes, college tuition and debt is crushing families, no doubt, particularly youngsters. That's true. Yes. These are things that you're seeing happening all over the place. So anyway, all right. Let's see here. Andrea says, I want to make widgets and doohickeys. Yes, doohickeys are amazing. Yes, they are amazing. Absolutely. Yes. Pickerel says, buy it up and hollow it out. It's how like 6 companies own everything. Correct. That's accurate. Now, one of the reasons, again, is, and it's going to sound crazy, but one of the reasons is actually incentives. In our attempt to somehow control the stock market or public companies or whatever, we've made rules that incentivizes people to do this. We incentivize them. Now, I'm going to tell you something crazy. The stock market should not be run by the FEC or the FCC or any of the C's. None of them. It should be SEC. None of them. None of the C's should run it. It should be run by a gaming commission. What? Yes. A gaming commission. Why? Because it is gambling. So run by a gaming commission. Change everything. The rules have to be clear. You have to know your odds. It'll be safer and better. And then you have to worry about the transparency issue. It's right there. You'd have a better, safer, fairer stock exchange. Stock market, way better than the SEC, FEC, FC, whatever the C, all the C's, COC, whatever. None of the CDC. No, these don't work. You see it constantly. How many times do people think that, they want to keep gambling? They do. They feel safe with a gambling commission. And how corrupt is that? But I tell you, if you had a gambling commission, you wouldn't have six companies owning everything. You wouldn't have that. Because that makes them in trouble. Absolutely wouldn't have it. Anyway, so yes, I think you're right. All righty. So go down here if I could. So many of these. Andrea says, I think the world looks at us like bullies. Yes. Very true. Yes. Mike has bad news, says, we are better at doing what other countries have tried to do. Are we? Sometimes. Pigboy says, we root for the rebels while sitting in the heart of the empire because most Americans have zero systemic analysis by design. Correct also. We still think, Americans still think we are the colonial army fighting the British. We still think that we are somehow there, right? That we're not. We're now the empire, right? Remember something. The big difference between when the British Empire fell, the big advantage that the world had in a way was that they had a son. It was us. So when dad retired, we took over the empire. We said, oh, but dad, chill, we got you. We took over the empire. Most of the time when empires fall, there's no one to take over. We took over. So we still think we're that young. We're like that old guy who keeps thinking he's young. That's us, right? So like we do the comb over, buy the Corvette, right? Put the sunglasses on, put the members only jacket on, thinking that we're still 25, right? That's us. That's America right now. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. All righty. Vivek says, speaking of Mitt Romney, remember how we copied Larry's exact words on the future of the Republican Party after the election. You are definitely presidential level. I think you should run in 2020. Oh, thank you, my friend. Yes, I am. The things I tell you, you see how often they come to pass. I'm sometimes wrong, but if you bet on me, you usually right. Just it's how it works. If you bet on what I say, you're usually right. So yes. Mike says, UBI does not work. Largest longest experiment in Kenya proved it. I'm not saying that it works. I'm not. I'm saying if I honestly believe, our current system doesn't work, Mike. The current system doesn't work, right? The systems don't work. But if I have a UBI system, again, I don't believe this, but if I believed that everything else would go away and we just have that relative to our current system, it would be better, right? If I believe that, but it's not. It's going to be as bad as this, worse. It's going to be worse. So yes, I'm not saying it's our system now. We have been throwing money, the war on poverty now for what? 60 years? Am I about right? 60 years. Yet the wealth gap keeps growing. It doesn't work. Clearly it doesn't work. UBI doesn't either. But again, can I get a bad system that's cheaper and more efficient, but still bad? And that's my option? I'll take it. I'm being realistic. But again, to my earlier point, it's not, then it'll be the disaster. UBI creates a larger nanny state. Okay, in theory, no. Hear me out on this one. In theory, there's no bureaucracy. This is my point. If I believed that, yes. I don't believe that. We'll keep bureaucracy. It'll just be worse. But theoretically, it does not. That's the difference. So yes. Josh says, I'd rather America get rid of the income tax and pass a fair tax. Better bet, I'd agree. It's better than. But again, it's better than. Absolutely. Christine says 10% tax for everyone across the board. Okay. Flat tax, again. Now we're based, what we're talking about here, all of these things we're talking about, it's like, what kind of cancer do you want? That's what we're saying. Mike's like, I don't like cancer. I get it, but we got cancer. I mean, we got it, Mike. I wish we didn't, but we got cancer. So do we want brain cancer, lung cancer? Do we want pancreatic cancer? Do we want liver cancer? Which cancer do we want? Is what we're saying. So of the cancers, flat tax is not bad relative to cancers, right? It's not, I agree with you, Christine. But to do it, again, if we went down that road, it has to be across the board no matter what. And this is why we won't do it. It would have to be 10% tax, doesn't matter what. But I gave mine to charity, don't care 10%. But I got mine as a gift, don't care 10%. But I spent mine on college, don't care 10%. But mine is business, don't care 10%. If we actually did that to where it doesn't matter where it comes from, it doesn't matter how you spend it. If you got it, the government mob gets its cut 10%, right? What's that thing? F you pay me. If the government's that way, 10%. I don't care where you got it from. I don't care how you spend it. Everybody pays 10%. If I believed that, I don't. Again, that's why I don't like UBI, because I don't believe it would actually work that way. If it worked your way, Christine, and it was just a flat fee, whatever, and no changes, I'd agree. Why would I agree with this? Because then I'd know if you're raising or lowering my taxes. Did I bring it down to 9? Did I bring it up to 10.5? Did I bring it down to 8.5? I would know if you're actually, now, no one who makes over 400, we don't know. We have no, the tax code's so convoluted, we have no idea. Not just that. The amount of lobbyists that are spending tons and tons of money to fix the tax code so they can hook their buddies up is in the hundreds of millions. They're not going away. They would never let this happen. Again, if I believed it, I'm with you in theory. In practice, the second we did this, there'd be 45,000 exemptions. And we'd get back to the same tax code again. And the wealthy would only pay 2%, and we'd all be screwed 10% with no deductions. That's what would happen. The wealthy would make money off of this. How do I know this? You see it already happening now with our congestion pricing that just happened last week. There's already people asking for exemptions. Already happening. So, and they're going to get them. So that's the issue. Christine, in theory, I agree with your flat tax. I do in theory. In practice, though, again, same thing. Unless you're telling me it could be a constitutional amendment that says no tax may ever be over whatever, 10%, something like that, amendment. And in the amendment, it states there may be no exemptions at all under any and all circumstances. Something like that, I'm open to. I'm open to that concept. If it's a constitutional amendment that is that crystal clear, maybe. But other than that, no. I don't. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. And then she says that number doesn't take into account corporate subsidies. Well, yeah, if you get rid of, I'm going to get rid of corporate subsidies. So yes. Yes. Yeah. IC says, I listen to Larry at 2 times speed. I speak city. Thank you. That's good. UBI is universal basic income. I'm sure someone's already told you that. Yep. There we go. Already there. There we go. Christine says, not pineapple. Thank you, Christine. There we go. Ryan says, pepperoni sauce. You guys are making me want to eat pizza, and I haven't eaten pizza in a very long time. Pizza has carbs. Now, I will sometimes have pizza here or there because my youngest daughter does like pizza. So maybe once a year, I'll have pizza here or there, right? Maybe once a year. If I'm with her and she wants to have it, yeah, I'll do it. But yeah, once in a while. But you guys are not making me want to buy some now. I'm going to go get some pizza. And when I start putting on weight, Ryan, because I'm no longer doing keto because I'm shoving pizza down my gut, I'm going to blame you. It's your fault, Ryan. When I put on weight, it's your fault. I'm going to blame you. This way I'll feel better about myself. So yes. Christine says, will they serve pineapple pizza in jail? Yes, they will force you to eat it because it's evil and bad. I see you wrong. I used to like you, I see. You and I we speak city together. And now you're going to sit here and do your pineapple on pizza thing for me? Used to like you. Phil says, chicken, bacon, ranch. Okay. Not my thing, but all right. It's not pineapple at least. So yes, absolutely. Ryan says, pineapple on pizza should put you in Jefferson Barracks Mental Hospital forever. Oh, I would accept that. I would accept the fact that you are crazy. I would accept the fact that you are crazy. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you know what? Jail or mental institution. Either one I would accept. Yeah, I would accept either of them. I'm with you on that one, Ryan. I would accept either of those. Yes, absolutely. All righty. Carl says, listen to Larry at point 4. It's funny. Oh, okay. Let's do that. There we go. Larry at point 4 is like he grew up in Pflugerville, Texas. Okay. I like that one. There we go. Lunatic says 25 trillion when you adjust for inflation and the war on poverty. Jesus, is it that much? Wow. Wow. That's a lot. Okay. I mean, that actually makes sense though, Lunatic. Like when you're adding the inflation, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, all righty, hold on here. All righty. Some people are laughing at me. Okay, that's fine. There we go. All right. Let me keep going down here if I can. Phil says New York has to have some decent cauliflower pizza crust. I have seen it before. I think that's true. Yes. Phil says, Kim, I like the consumption tax over income tax. Income tax lets them look over our finance. Also true. But again, if we're doing straight 10%, it becomes easier. It's just how much money did you make? That's it. Doesn't matter where it comes from. So it becomes less invasive. You're right, still invasive. It just becomes less invasive. Duke of X says, New York pizza is overrated, so they say outside New York. Yes, outside New York they say that, but they would be wrong, Duke of X. I'm just saying they would be wrong. The answer is New York pizza is the best pizza. That's how that works. Chicago can be delicious, but it's not pizza. That's all I'm saying. It's delicious. It's just not pizza. That's all. I'm not mad at you. So, yeah. Let's see if I can see over at Rumble. The Liberty Lady, thank you for the $1. You always talk about your keto diet. What's your workout/cardio schedule look like? And do you incorporate yoga or meditation? I used to meditate. I learned to meditate back when I was a teenager, believe it or not. I actually studied Taekwondo. I was actually a red belt in Taekwondo. And I used to teach it in the Marine Corps. I haven't done it in years, though. I mean, I probably got some muscle memory for it, but I haven't really done any Taekwondo in at least 2 decades. And it's been a while. So it's been a while. But I probably get back into it if I wanted. I probably could. But no, I don't do meditation. But I did do some with my oldest daughter. She was having some trouble concentrating in high school. So we used to get up in the morning and meditate together. I taught her how. We've done that before in the past. She still does some of it now. I don't do yoga. Never had. Never been my thing. But I did do some meditation. Now I don't really much. Generally speaking, I try my best to work out a little bit every day. I don't always do it. I do at least a half an hour on treadmill every day to keep my cardio up. My workout is not for strength. I do some strength training, but not much of it. My workout is for endurance. And so when I do work out, I work out with light weights, a lot of reps, light weights, because I am all about endurance. I'm not against strength, but I'm about, I don't want to be big. I don't have big muscles, not my thing. Not trying to achieve, don't want to achieve it, not trying to achieve, don't need to be a big guy. I just want to make sure that I'm in good shape and I have a lot of endurance, particularly because running for office wears you out. So I always try to drop weight before I run, and I'm considering running here soon. So I've been dropping a lot of weight recently. Some of you have noticed I've dropped a lot of weight. Last year, I dropped about 20 pounds last year. Over the course of a year, I dropped about 20 pounds. I went from around 198 to around 178, give or take, in about 12 to 13 months. So, and that's because I keep my cardio up every day. I do some strength training, but just only lightweight, a lot of reps, because I'm trying to keep myself in. I will often work out with weights for 45 minutes straight sometimes, just on reps, different reps, exercises, but very lightweight, heavy reps. And it keeps me up, gives me energy. I can still run 3 miles. I'm 56. I can still run 3 miles. So that is my workout routine. Thank you for caring, I guess, but yes. Little Lady says, I'm a first-degree black belt in Taekwondo, received in 1997. I'm a little older than you. I got my red belt in 1986. So 85. So you're a little bit older than you. But yes, I got mine. I was only 17, 18 when I got mine. So yes. And I taught it in Marine Corps for about a year or so. And then I hardly ever used it ever again. I did a little bit when I got out and then not for years. Last time I've done any kind of Taekwondo was probably, no, you know what? I taught my daughters, my oldest daughter, I gave her some basic courses in how to fall, how to block. So probably 15 years ago, I did some. So yeah, hope that's helpful. So Ryan says, thank you for 10 bucks, my friend. Wow, I get blamed for everything, Larry. I thought the libertarians believed in personal responsibility. So it's not my fault that you gain weight eating pizza. No. Remember, I make exceptions for pizza, right? I'm a libertarian except for pizza, right? That is my exception. That's where I'm a total hypocrite. Total hypocrite. Just being very clear. Total hypocrite. When it comes to pizza, I'm an utter hypocrite when it comes to libertarianism. So pizza, I blame you, not my responsibility. That's yours. No personal responsibility for pizza. And pineapple on pizza, no due process. So, Larry, you're a hypocrite. Yes, on pizza, I am. Yes, absolutely. Ryan says, St. Louis and Detroit pizza are excellent. Yeah, they are good. Detroit pizza is good. I agree. Yes. Thank you for the 189. Pizza is the new coffee / alcohol. Pizza is. Yes, that's it. Yes. I'm addicted. Well, the funny part you say that, Mike, you're right. For someone like me, pizza is my alcohol. I'm not joking when I say that. And if you hear some of you know my story about when I put on a bunch of weight, when I went on keto, my issues. I'm not a drinker or a smoker. I don't do drugs. It's not my thing. I would stress eat. So when I was at my lowest in 2010, when my world was ending, I was eating. That's how I was self-medicating. It was my alcohol. Somebody else might have gone to beer or booze or weed or an opioid or whatever's their thing. They might have gone to their drug of choice. Mine was carbs. I think I tell the story often. I was literally eating an entire full pizza and a 2-liter of regular Coke for lunch. The whole thing for lunch. That was one meal. So yeah, I had a problem. 100%. I had a problem. So you're right. For me, that was my alcohol. And I know that. I recognize that. There's a funny story I'll tell you. So my wife buys 2, this is about 10, 15 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe more, 20 years ago, maybe. It's a while ago. She knows that I loved, I still do, but loved Coke, Pepsi, any soda. Love soda. Just chug it. So she's being good to me. So she buys 2 liters of Coke and puts them in the fridge. I got mad at her. I'm embarrassed by this, but I say this to show my humility of what a problem I had and how I made it my problem. I got angry at her. Now, okay, why, Larry? She's being good to you. She's giving you 2 liters of Coke because you like soda so much. You went to the store, so you have it, right? So she's being good to you. Why are you mad? This is what I told her. I'm not joking, Michael. This is what I told her. I said, now I got to drink 2 liters of Coke tonight. Why'd you buy that? That's what I said. That's what I added. That's addict stuff right there. That's addict stuff right there. That's what that is. That was me. At that point, I realized, damn, I got a problem. Like, I got a problem. This is why should I be mad at her? No logical reason to be mad at her. None. I was 100% in the wrong. Not even close. I was totally 100% in the wrong. And I was mad. So anyway, I recognize my problem. And that's why I change. So there we go. The AC says carbs are addictive. Yes. 100%. Yes. Christine says it's important to know yourself, pizza Nazi. Yes, I am. It's true. Just saying. Yes. Phil says no pizza for you 1 year. Next. There we go. That's how I do it. Yes. All right. It is kind of funny. I would agree. It is kind of weird. So yes. Phil says food is an addiction. It can turn people into Gollum. Yes. You are right. Like, it's a problem. Yes. Khalidi says Coke has high fructose corn syrup unless it's Mexican Coke with sugar. No, this was the American. This was the maximum drug you won. Yes, absolutely. Carl says, what the F? Take one of those hard people with knee arthritis. It's only kicks. Correct. And I still to this day can kick over my head. I know it's funny. But yeah, I'm still there. It's once you stretch out that way, it's just the way it works. You know, once you get to that level, yes. So, Colidi says frozen pineapple is great during the hot Tuscan summers. Tucson. Yes, I agree. Yes. Straight End says over on Rumble, I caught David Carradine Taekwondo videos at a yard sale. I'm now anxious to get my VHS VCR working so I can watch it. David Carradine was great. I did love Kung Fu. I'm old enough to remember Kung Fu, the TV show from the 70s. I can remember that show. Some people you're like, what the hell is that? That was back in the day when we couldn't put Asian people into a starring role. So you would hire white guys to play Asian guys, right? That was back in the time when like John Wayne played Genghis Khan, like that. So yeah, that's kind of how that worked. So back in those days. So you couldn't get like an Asian guy because you can do that. It's the 70s. So you hire a white guy to play a half Asian. So David Carradine was a half Asian character because that's how you did it in the 70s. I know, kind of weird, but still true. Still true. That's kind of how that works. So, in any case, there we go. Phil says I saw Kung Fu reruns. It was surprisingly good. The stories are actually interesting. I mean, they actually are some interesting stories. It's true. Yes, absolutely, 100%. There were some interesting stories for sure. Guys, I got to ask you one time if I could. I know I ask you often. It does matter. Click the button known as like. It does matter. I bug you all the time. Please do so. Right. One more time. Next Tuesday, I will be at the Maha Action event in Albany, 10 a.m. Head over to teachersforchoice.org if you can make it. If you can be in Albany at that point, that'd be great. If you haven't shared this or reposted it, please do so. Every one of those does matter. For those of you who have not subscribed yet, please subscribe and follow me. It does matter. Look, I'm very lucky. I'm blessed. Most of the people who watch the show are subscribers and do follow. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people, they don't have that, but I'm lucky I do. But every one of you who can, please do so. It does matter if you haven't done it already. I love the super chats and normal rants. Please don't stop. But I do ask you, as always, if you can become a member, please do so. If you got the cash to do it, it does help tremendously. Keeps the team happy. Everybody knows what's going on. We keep going if you can. And we are going to have on January 27th, we're going to have a members show where member guests come on and we all chat together on the show. We've done 2 of them already. We'll do a 3rd one coming up here, January 27th. If you are a member, you are eligible. If you want to come on, it's $49 per month to make that happen. You can do it on Rumble if you want to also. Click that subscribe button during the live. Only during the live, subscribe. You can do it on Rumble. It does help everything move forward. That is what I like. Here's what I'm going to ask you. Once this live is over, I want you to put your double combo, your favorite double combo pizza topping in the comments below. Double combo, not 1, 2. You want 2 together on 1 pizza. What do you want? What do you like the best? Don't say pineapple, but 2. You only say pineapple if you say pepperoni, then you can. Otherwise, just 2. That's all you need. Just 2, just those 2. If you would, I appreciate it. Guys, I will not be on tomorrow. I will be on Monday night. I will not have a Tuesday show. There will be no Tuesday radio show because I will be at the event in Albany, but there will be a Tuesday night show. So Monday night, Tuesday night, no show tomorrow. I will see you all very soon.